But my personal obsession...
Aliens, conspiracies, creepy government cover-ups. The X-Files had it all on the menu, and now it's coming back with a whole new vibe. Ryan Coogler, the guy who gave us Black Panther and Creed, is rebooting the iconic sci-fi series. And yeah, that sentence alone is cool enough to fry a few brains. This isn't about dragging the old formula back out of storage and dusting it off. Coogler's got plans. He's reimagining the whole thing for today's world, with a new cast, new energy, and way more diversity than the original ever dared to show. So what's the tone? What does this reboot mean? Who's replacing Mulder and Scully? Are the aliens cooler now? Can it actually work without the old school magic? And why does Cougler seem like the one guy who might pull it off? In this video, we're breaking it all down. Let's get into it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. So what exactly is the X-Files? Let's rewind to the pre-Instagram era, back when TV shows didn't drop all at once and had you glued to your screen week after week. The X-Files wasn't another sci-fi series, it was the holy guide for how weird and wonderful TV could get when the right mix of brains, paranoia, and UFO energy collide. At the center of this eerie universe were two iconic FBI agents, Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. Nope, certainly not the B-99 Scully. Mulder was the guy who believed that aliens were real, the government was shady, and the truth was buried under a mountain of cover-ups. Plain as daisies. Scully was the scientist. Sharp, logical, no nonsense. She looked at everything through a microscope, while Mulder was out there connecting dots between Bigfoot sightings and alien implants. Their dynamic was pure fire. You would have Mulder ranting about time travel or werewolves, while Scully calmly pulled out a medical report like, actually, it's a rare neurological disorder. But Mulder wasn't always wrong. This wasn't Monster of the Week madness, though there were plenty of freaky creatures. Fluke men crawling through the sewers, stretchy mutants hiding in walls, shapeshifters, psychics, ghostly kids, you name it, they had it. But beneath all that was a slow burn conspiracy thriller, a massive government cover-up, abductions, alien-human hybrids, black oil, shady figures puffing cigarettes while planning who knows what in the dark. It got deep and weird and seriously addictive. Created by Chris Carter, the show began in 1993 and ran for 9 solid seasons, with 2 feature films and 2 later revival seasons thrown in years later. It built a cult following so strong, fans were dissecting every frame. Mulder and Scully were the kind of characters that made trench coats cool, turned people into conspiracy theorists, and got a generation to squint suspiciously at flickering streetlights. What made the X-Files hit different was its mood. Gloomy lighting, eerie synth music, quiet moments filled with tension and dread. It didn't shove scares in your face, it let them creep up on you. It knew how to mess with your head, leave you unsure if what you saw was real or something out of Mulder's trauma-riddled imagination. And somehow, through all the horror and suspense, it managed to drop the occasional banger of a comedy episode without ever feeling off. And the fandom was ride or die. These weren't casual watchers. These were people debating theories on forums, writing fanfics, and sketching UFOs in notebooks. It was one of the first shows that truly thrived in the internet age, becoming ground zero for obsessive fan culture before that even had a name. So yeah, The X-Files wasn't just a spooky show about aliens. I mean, it was a spooky show, but it was also a genre-defining, pop culture-sparking, brain-melting mystery box that took over the world for a good chunk of the 90s and kept people wondering for decades later. What if Mulder was right all along? Meet the minds behind the madness. The OG X-Files was the brainchild of Chris Carter, who basically cracked open the skull of 90s TV and poured in aliens, shadowy suits, and spooky small-town mysteries. Then you had David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, who owned their roles as Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. They became the face of a cultural moment. Conspiracy theorists? Fan clubs? Halloween costumes for a decade? Yeah, blame them. Now, today we have Ryan Coogler. Yep, the same Coogler who dropped Fruitvale Station, built Creed, and turned Black Panther into a global movement. The guy knows how to mix big themes with real emotion and layered storytelling, and now he's grabbing the X-Files baton and sprinting into a whole new era. This reboot is not about plastering a fresh coat of paint on the old formula. No, Coogler's digging deeper. He's not only looking to reboot the show, but he's also rethinking it. New agents, new mythologies, a cast that reflects today's world, not just what the world looked like 30 years ago. The truth may still be out there, but it's got Wi-Fi now, and probably a VPN. Think about how much the game has changed. Back in Mulder's day, the biggest fear was grainy UFO photos or redacted documents faxed to a motel room. Today, we're in an age of deepfakes, AI-generated footage, drones watching you from the sky, and misinformation wars happening in real time. Lies go viral before the truth even logs in, and that's exactly the kind of chaos Coogler wants to tap into. And let's be honest, this is also the perfect time to bring X-Files back. People are already deep into conspiracy rabbit holes. Governments are acting shady as hell. Tech keeps outpacing regulation. If you ever thought the 90s version made you paranoid, wait till Coogler's take drops. You will soon be side-eyeing your smart speaker like it's reporting back to something non-human. Coogler is working with a new creative team. Names haven't been out yet, but knowing Coogler, it's gonna be a solid mix of seasoned voices and fresh talent. People who get the horror, the mystery, the weight of believing in things that can't be proven, but who also know how to speak the language of now. This version of X-Files will still be creepy, still drenched in the unknown, but the groove's shifting. Less trench coat, more encrypted servers, less alien autopsies, more algorithm-driven surveillance. It's truth hunting in the digital jungle, and honestly, that's exactly what makes it exciting. Coogler's not trying to replace Mulder and Scully. Well, duh. You can't replace that lightning in a bottle chemistry, but he is aiming to evolve the legacy, showing that the fight to uncover the truth hasn't gone away. It's just wearing new clothes, hiding behind different lies, and speaking in code, and we're all still trying to decode it. What Coogler might be cooking up. So what's Ryan Coogler really cooking with his X-Files reboot? No one's spilling details yet, not a peep. But if you know Coogler's style, you can already smell what's simmering under the lid. First off, forget the usual Freak of the Week routine with aliens poking around cornfields. Coogler's not here to recycle old stories. This ain't your dad's X-Files. Instead, he's here to toss the whole thing and drag it straight into the now. You've still got the freaky cases, the hush-hush government projects, and yes, the big bad alien agendas. But now it's filtered through Coogler's lens. And if his past work's anything to go by, we're talking real depth. This new take on the X-Files could ask way bigger questions than the original ever dared. What even counts as truth in a world built on filters, algorithms, and spin? Who do you trust when you live in a world where aliens don't beam down from grainy VHS footage, but leak through encrypted files on dark web forums? Where monsters don't hide in forests, but lurk in gene editing labs or AI-controlled bunkers? The government cover-ups? Way messier now. It's not just a folder with top secret stamped on it, it's data trails, hacked emails, viral disinfo, whistleblowers with burner phones, and drone footage that disappears the second it uploads. Coogler's version of the X-Files isn't stuck in the past. It knows we've moved on from Area 51 memes. It's tuned into now, where every phone's a tracking device. Every voice note could be a potential bait, and truth feels slipperier than ever. That's the world Coogler's throwing us into, a world where believing has never been harder, or more dangerous. If Coogler's past work says anything, he's about to give us characters who don't feel like TV props. And that's the magic of Coogler. He builds them, makes you root for them. They will have scars, backstories, real baggage. People trying to make sense of the madness, not just solve it. And don't expect them to always agree either. You'll probably get clashes over ethics, race, justice, belief, stuff the old X-Files only touched in passing. The reboot might make the world feel lived in, and the horror, oh, it's gonna hit harder. Coogler's not the type who's content with making you jump from your seat. No, he makes you feel why you're scared, if you know what I mean. The monsters might be terrifying, yeah, but the real chill might come from what those monsters represent. Corruption, abuse of power, mass surveillance, collapse of trust. Coogler's smart enough to know that today's real-life nightmares make alien abductions look like a walk in the park. So no, there's no concrete plot yet, no leaked episode outlines, but the feeling is already strong. If the original X-Files made you fear the unknown, this reboot might make you fear what's hiding in plain sight, on your screen, in your feed, in your own head. Get ready, whatever Coogler's cooking, it's not comfort food, it's gonna haunt, I'm sure. Release date? Well, it's complicated, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Don't cancel weekend plans or start prepping your alien hunting gear just yet. This X-Files reboot is still in the lab. It's very much a work in progress. Early stages kind of deal. No release date, no trailer, not even a leaked cast list floating around Reddit, because I checked, so you don't have to. What we do know is that Ryan Coogler's fully locked in. The man's not tossing ideas into the void. He's building this thing under his production company, and word on the street is he's taking his sweet time to get it right. He knows what he's messing with. X-Files ain't a show you rush. It's got legacy, weight, and a fan base ready to fact-check you harder than a Wikipedia edit war. And I say, take all your time, Coogler, no rush. Although, just a teeny tiny rush. Now sure, no cameras are out rolling yet, and the network hasn't announced a date or anything. But make no mistake, the reboot is real. The pitch has been made, the green light's there, and Coogler's up to something strange and bold. We're in that phase where the whispers are getting louder, the fandom's buzzing, and the press is watching for every and any scrap of info. Basically, picture a big conspiracy board, push pins, red red string, scribbled notes that say truth in all caps. That's what we're at right now. The pieces are out there, and Coogler's connecting the dots behind the scenes, little by little. So no, we don't have a countdown clock yet, but this isn't one of those maybe someday reboots that disappear after the announcement tweet. This one's moving. Slowly, yeah, quietly, for now, but when it drops, it's gonna hit you like a UFO crash in broad daylight. Not without controversy. What's the X-Files without a little drama? No X-Files project drops without a little side glance, and this reboot is no different. Fans are hyped, yeah, but the air is already thick with drama. You've got the hardcore purists clutching their DVD box sets, already muttering that without Duchovny and Anderson, it's not real X-Files. For them, it's not only about aliens and conspiracies, it's that OG spark between Mulder and Scully, the believer versus the skeptic, the slow burn chemistry. And to be fair, those two did build a legacy that's hard to match. Now with Cougler on board, some are ready, excited to see new faces, while others, not so much. The question flying around is whether the X-Files brand still hits the way it used to. Back in the day, the world was less loud. A story about one UFO cover-up could dominate a whole season. Now we've got conspiracies trending daily, and truth feels like an optional setting. Can a reboot still feel close to home in a world already drowning in paranoia? Well, we'll have to wait and see. And let's not forget the Chris Carter situation. He's the guy who started it all, gave us the black oil, the smoking man, and all that good freaky stuff. But now Coogler's the one holding the steering wheel. Officially, Carter's not the one calling the shots this time around, but the rumor mill's hot. Is he really out, or is he still in the background, low-key guiding the ship? No one's saying much, but the silence is loud. There's also the bigger talk about legacy, ownership, and who gets to take over stories like this. Cougler rebooting the X-Files is a huge shift. A black director with a bold voice stepping into a very white, very 90s corner of sci-fi. And yeah, not everybody's comfortable with that, but that's exactly why it matters. So that's that. But controversy's always been part of the X-Files DNA. The show never played it quiet, and if this reboot's already stirring debate before a single scene's been shot, that's probably a good sign, isn't it? Theories, guesses, and wild speculation. Of course, the internet's already in full tinfoil hat mode. The second Ryan Coogler's name got linked to an X-Files reboot, fans started spinning theories faster than Mulder chasing a UFO on foot. First question right out of the gate, is this a full reboot or a soft sequel? Are we hitting the reset button? Or is this the years later kind, where the old files gather dust in a government basement while new agents pick up the scent? No one knows yet. Coogler's playing it close, but that hasn't stopped Reddit threads from exploding with every kind of fan script, episode breakdowns, and cast lists. Then comes the big one. Will Mulder and Scully show up? Maybe not as the main players, but even a blink and you'll miss it cameo would send fans home happy. People want that nod, even if the show moves forward with a whole new squad, seeing the legends pass the torch. That's the kind of moment fandoms live for. And don't act like you wouldn't scream if Duchovny showed up in a blurry surveillance video, or Scully dropped a classified file in someone's inbox, because I know I would. Now, come a little closer. What if this reboot follows a new generation of agents, raised in the shadows of the original X-Files? Think about it. Kids who grew up watching the chaos unfold, now stepping into the bureau. And they've got drones, hacked satellites, and data leaks. But the danger? Still just as weird. Still just as terrifying. And what if they're chasing a mystery that ties right back to Mulder and Scully's old cases? My, that would be a doozy. And then there's the alien mythology, the cornerstone of the original show. What's Coogler gonna do with it? Wipe it clean? Build on it? Take it to a whole other level? Some think he might ditch it completely and bring in a new threat. Something less spacey, more grounded in real-world horror. Others are betting he will turbocharge the mythos. Go deeper, darker, bigger this time. Maybe aliens aren't just abducting people anymore. Maybe they're manipulating history. Maybe they're not even aliens. Maybe they've been running things this whole time. I wouldn't be surprised though. This is X-Files. Nothing's too far. Marvelous verdict. You see, this X-Files project under Ryan Coogler is not only about hitting the nostalgia button and hoping fans bite. Coogler's not the type to pull out the greatest hits, slap a fresh filter on it, and call it a day. If he's stepping into this world, he's doing it to tip the scale. What's coming probably won't feel like the same X-Files your older cousin obsessed over. But that's the point. This reboot doesn't want to walk in the same shoes. It wants to rip them apart and rebuild them with steel toes and encrypted laces, if that makes sense. Coogler's not erasing the past. Instead, he's breathing new life into old fears. So whether you're a day one fan or stepping into this world for the first time, one thing's clear. This isn't just a reboot. It's a creative revolution dressed like a reboot. And when it lands, don't expect comfort. Expect questions, twists, chaos, and maybe, if you're lucky, a few answers. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.